Sunday in the Park with George is based on the painting A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Grande Jatte by Georges Seurat, and it is a fictionalized version of the events leading up to the final painting of the picture. So that's Act 1. The show was written, the book is by James Lapine, the score is by Stephen Sondheim, and they were trying to find a project to do together, and they kind of stumbled upon this painting and thought it would be interesting to try to make a musical out of a famous work of art. So this is their creation. Like I said, Act 1 is building up to the painting of the picture. Act 2 jumps 100 years into the future to 1984, which was the year that the show was originally written and produced on Broadway. And it takes elements from Act 1 and expands on them. At the end of Act 1, the character of Dot is pregnant, and in Act 2, we get to meet that pregnant child who is now grown into a 94-year-old woman. A lot of the themes that get developed in Act 1, like the struggle between your passion and your personal life and finding that balance, the war between art and commerce, all of those themes are starting to get developed in Act 1, but it isn't until Act 2 that they really get fully realized and brought to a conclusion. I am so thrilled for our audiences to see this show because not only is it so rarely done, but it's so rarely done on this scale. We are doing it in the main stage here at TheatreWorks with a full orchestra doing the original Broadway orchestrations, which are sadly so rarely recreated these days just because of economics in theaters. But we are so blessed to be able to have that opportunity to do this show on this great stage with a full orchestra, with an incredible cast of singing actors. And I think it's going to be a really memorable and cherished experience for everybody who comes to see it. It's hard to pick one specific moment that I would say is my favorite. I almost always start every rehearsal with the actors, whatever scene we're working on that day or whatever song. I almost always say, you know, this is my favorite moment in the show. And by the time I've said that like 5 or 7 or 12 times, the actors kind of start to question it. But it's true. I mean, there are so many wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous, you know, bittersweet, touching moments in this show. It's hard to pick a favorite.
And there's nothing I can say, is there?
Yes, George, there is. You could tell me not to go. Say it to me, tell me not to go.
Good.
I would probably say my 3 favorite moments would be the 3 scenes and duets between the main characters of George and Dot. The first one would be Color and Light. The next one would be towards the end of Act 1, the We Do Not Belong Together scene and song. And then finally, the penultimate moment at the end of Act 2, which is the scene and song with Move On. I promise you will love Sunday in the Park with George. It's another Stephen Sondheim musical. We're doing it with a full orchestra right here on the main stage. And I honestly think that Stephen Sondheim is our modern day living Shakespeare, and that nothing else, no one else's work can match his. So if you enjoyed Follies, you'll definitely love Sunday in the Park with George.